And welcome back here to ConchoValleyHomepage.com as we bring you the final round of the Texas Duel here at Bentwood Country Club, brought to you by Dreamscapes and AV Systems. I'm Cody Adams alongside Kevin Collins here bringing you the coverage.
Yeah, we've got guys coming off of the number 18 tee box. We've got Cox and McCormick, Springer and Underwood, both teams in the third flight, teeing off at around 11 this morning. Looks like Cox out at a -7, and Springer and Underwood were at -5 when they started the day.
And to this point, Cox and McCormick have had a -8 today, and Springer and Underwood are shooting -5 today. So really pretty consistent with where they were yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like, I know Gus Underwood, good tennis player, actually. Played at Central some and then moved to Houston. So grew up around country clubs and golf courses, so he's probably a very good little golfer. Looks like they've just kind of played to their seeding from yesterday. They haven't really done anything extra, but that's not unusual.
And a really good drive off the tee box for Cox and McCormick. Both of them kind of just put about, 10 yards between each other or so.
That's a fact.
And
those are good spots to be, for sure.
Right there on that left side, their left side, our right side of the fairway, which you've talked about before, the way that tee box shoots everybody kind of off to the right. It's impressive to be able to turn it back and bring it back, kind of keep it in the fairway there.
You know, and also a lot of our tournament play, we play from the blue tees or the gold tees. These Texas Duel rules, you play from the white tees, which are a little bit closer up, which are not quite as affected by the tee box. So that may have, helped some of these guys today. But it's just overall knowledge of the course. I mean, anytime, that's why the pros go out and spend a couple of days before the events checking out the course, because you got to know the nuances involved with it. And most of these guys play here, so they know. It's like a little bit of a push there from Gus Underwood, and probably not necessarily happy with the result there of that tee shot.
And as you probably remember yesterday, Springer has one of the better mustaches that you'll see in a long while.
Yeah.
Been sporting that. Last week he was in a walking boot. That's gone this week.
Well, you have to have style, Cody. I mean, and so, whatever your style factor is, some of it's like Tom DeLauder with his Duck Dynasty action, and, it just depends what makes you tick.
And so these guys trying to finish up third flight play as well as they can and try and put themselves in a position to take home some money today.
It's good to see some under par scores in these third flight players. I mean, they're most definitely happier when they're shooting under par. And if you're in the third flight, you're probably not a guy that shoots under par on a regular basis if you go out and play to 18 holes. So, that's another thing I think that Jay West has really capitalized on, is that let's compete, but let's have some fun while we compete. And being able to shoot under par, for a guy who's playing in the third flight, that's pretty groovy.
And we've seen a lot of guys having a lot of fun today. That's been really cool to see. Even guys who maybe their score isn't where they were hoping it was, they've had some really, really good moments today on the 18th hole, whether they're laughing or playing around or whatever it may be.
Yeah, I mean, and what we should see is as the event starts to wind down, you can start to see some, more gallery carts, people coming in right here kind of behind us. We can see there people kind of gathering around, the scorers table, which I think is a great idea. The scorers table with Jay West and Steve McNabb is right here on the 18th tee box. They're keeping up with things. One of the big things about golf tournaments is when you're done, it's time to move on, and you've got so many players coming through over a 4 or 5 hour period. These guys do a really good job of trying to make sure that when you're finished, here's your pay, here's your deal. There are golf tournaments in our area that, you don't get your prize money for weeks. I mean, right here, you're getting your money that day, and that's a big factor.
Yeah, and it makes it a lot of fun, too, because it feels like it gives you a little bit more to play for, knowing that you're going to walk off the green and get a little cash in your hand.
Oh, yeah, or better yet, if you're upset and don't think you played very well, you can come and just complain right there on the 18th tee box.
Right.
You can go ahead and let Steve and Jay know kind of, what you're thinking. So, now, all kidding aside, I really love the way these guys run this format and do their job and make these guys have a good time. So congratulations to them.
So for a total score right now, the leaders are Cox and McCormick. They have a 15 under on the day, just above Pitts and Dormus, who shot 12 under. They wrapped up just a little bit ago. So, if everything goes well for them, they'll be taking home a little cash here in the
third flight payout, $3,570 for first place, $890 for second, and again, that doesn't take into consideration players, pool, skins, or any of the other stuff. So, you as a team could walk away with $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 if you win this thing. So it's hopefully going to take off statewide. I know that's Jay's vision. His vision is to take this to a fairly significant level. And let's face it, there's a heck of a lot more guys playing this kind of golf than there are playing pro golf. And so if we can make the regular players feel like they're competing, like you've got a real good opportunity there.
Look, we got 58 teams playing yesterday and today in 6 different flight divisions. So obviously they're doing something right, and everyone's enjoying it and having a good time for the most part, even if you're, Tom Stovall and you're finishing last in your flight, whatever it may be.
And I'm sure that it really wasn't Tom's fault.
Right,
I'm not entirely sure who he played with, but it's got to be that his partner didn't play very well. I mean,
that's right. That would be Will Henderson. So I'm sure come Monday Tom will remind me how poorly Will played.
Yeah. That's a joke, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
That's just a joke. Anyway, looks like we've got Cox and McCormick coming up here. Again, you said -8 in the lead, in the perfect spot to make their second shot. Ball came up pretty quick. A little smooth, took a little bit of grass there. Obviously felt like he kind of cut that, but I would not be unhappy with that being the first shot out. We've definitely got an opportunity for a birdie putt. My partner definitely can feel more comfortable being aggressive towards the hole.
Yeah, McCormick will definitely see kind of where that played and now take his swing at it and try and put them in a little bit better position if he can.
From where we're sitting, this looks like a fairly easy shot, but they've got that big, deep bunker that sits right in front of that green that, from the player's perspective, at least is a visual aspect. And it's interesting to watch because they're all afraid, and, that's why that ball off to the right into the center of the green, because they don't want to end up in the bunker.
And that pin is set back a little bit further today than it was yesterday, so it can really, from their viewpoint, make it look even further back than it is.
Great point, yeah. And I mean, so the area to hit to really score is it's a little tough for some of these guys. A little bit of an interesting follow-through there, letting the hands kind of release.
Almost like a baseball swing.
Yeah, just kind of trying to relax a little bit. But, not a bad spot to be in. Probably a tough birdie putt, but at least a birdie putt nonetheless.
So they'll make their way up to the green and bring their putters along with them to try and improve their score on the day. As we said, they're leading in this third flight right now, shooting a total of 15 under. They're at 8 under on the day. Springer and shooting a total of 10 under, so they've had a good day as well. They're 5 under on the day, about where they were yesterday. So consistency, the key there for those guys as they make their way up to take a swing at things. And they had a really good.
Well, they had a tough. Their tee shot situation wasn't the best,
right?
And so probably where Springer is sitting is about as good as you can get from where they were. I mean, Gus is a little bit further back. They're obviously going to take Drew's second shot, but I think that given the fact that they were in such a tough situation off the tee box, a pitch and a putt for a par might not be a bad situation for those guys.
And so Springer will take the first crack at things for his team. Nice little shot up onto the green by him. Didn't get quite enough on it as he had hoped.
Yeah, I mean, and see, he picked the ball up pretty quickly, and he kind of tried to carry to the hole, and unfortunately, and amateurs do this a lot, and I'm not saying that I'm not an amateur, I do it every day, but it's like, you get it up that high where it's going to land a lot of times going into a hill like that, it's going to slow down. So he needed, if he wanted to play that strategy, he needed to carry that ball a couple of feet from the hole before it lands, so it stops. Let's see what Guga decides to do. We used to call Gus Guga when he was a little kid. He was a tennis player. Gustavo Kuerten was one of his favorite tennis players, what we call Gus Guga. Looks like he may be looking to punch and run this a little bit.
And with that much of the green in front of you, you can certainly do that.
Yeah, that's what he's done, and it just, again, depends on where it lands. He actually caught the first cut, and that greatly affected how the ball was going to land. So,
you know, we talk about like football being a game of inches, but I don't know if any game is a game of inches quite like golf is, where literally just one or 2 inches a certain way really changes the way everything plays.
I mean, if you really look at it and you write everything down that can go wrong, you'd really kind of maybe not even want to play.
Yeah.
I mean, quite frankly,
yeah.
You know, I mean, it's a joke, but it's like, you know, gosh almighty, you're playing the course, the wind, the elements, your opponents, you know, yourself. It's a tough game, and I think, quite frankly, all kidding aside, I think that's one of the reasons a lot of players play it, because it's very challenging.
Yeah. It's the cold beer and the friendship that keeps you coming back, too, I assume.
Absolutely, and the lies.
That's,
I mean,
I hit it over here.
Yeah, well, if you talk to David Wagner, I mean, he's quite a golf liar.
He uses that foot wedge a lot.
Absolutely. All
So
right, you can see this ball is right up on kind of the edge of the fringe. What the players will tell you is you just need to not close your eyes, but completely take that out of the picture, because even though it's right there and it looks like it's going to affect the roll of the ball, it won't. And sometimes players will, you know, catch a little yip on that, trying to avoid the taller grass.
It'll be really interesting to see how this ball rolls as well, because this is one of those spots that sometimes looks like it might have a little bit of a break to it, and then doesn't break like you thought.
You're exactly right. I mean, it's a fairly straight putt, because you're kind of in between. It's kind of a tale of two situations there. You know, to the right of that hole is the ball coming down the hill, and to the left is the elephant hump. You're kind of almost in the valley there. If you can just kind of keep it there, you've got a pretty good chance to make it.
We saw Ray Montgomery do that earlier for a nice birdie putt to go ahead and give his team that birdie on the hole. So Cox will take the first swing at things for his team.
Not a bad putt. Not a bad putt at all. Had exactly the right distance. But then again, if you saw, it kind of curved a little. So, I mean, it's I don't know if that was because he let his club head to kind of move a little bit, but that was a really, really good putt. I would be super disappointed, because I think that one should have gone in the hole.
So at the very least, that will give them a pretty easy par on this hole after playing this 18th hole very well.
You know, absolutely no reason not to go for the birdie putt now. I mean, that's a gimme par in the hole. So it's the last shot of the day. Let's don't leave anything out there.
Trying to figure out maybe where that ball curved on him. Getting down and looking there.
It did look like it kind of did at the end of the. I think our camera angle didn't get to it, but it looked to me like it moved at the end, which I think is unusual.
And
Just misses it. They thought they had it.
Oh, yeah. Covering their face after that, because that's one of those things that you just look at and go, oh, what a letdown.
Good day of golf for those guys, though. They played this 18 to an 8 under score of 15 under on the day for Cox and McCormick.
Certainly not a bad day of golf for those guys.
Springer and Underwood now. In position for a par putt.
Let's see if Gus can channel his inner Lee Trevino here. Pushed it from the very beginning, unfortunately.
So now Springer will take his swing at things with that great mustache and the head of hair. I would give anything to have that head of hair.
All right, so Gus is he's at the altar right now, begging and praying and hoping that Springer can pull it together for him.
And just misses it.
Unreal. That ball looked like it was in the hole from the very beginning. Yeah, they take their bogey, and unfortunately, probably not as happy with that as they could be, but Cox and McCormick at 8 under still, looks like, and hopefully that'll be a good score for them.
Springer and Underwood now, that will give their 2-day score a total of 9 under. Cox and McCormick, their total 15 under after 2 days of golf. And here is that putt again, just barely sneaking by.
Yeah, it's almost as if the earth moved slightly right before the ball got
and Cox and McCormick both thought that they had it spreading a little bit on its roll and just didn't quite get over enough on it there. So we pick things up now in the middle of the fairway. Brooks and Cauley, they're shooting 3 under on the day. That'll put their total score at 10 under for 2 days of play. And Jones and Shields, they're having a great day. They're shooting 12 under today for a total score of 19 under.
Holy cow,
that's first flight
what
scores.
What a performance.
And they played well yesterday. They came into today as the leaders.
-7.
Both -7, and this is the final group in the third flight of play. So,
and as you can, we can't see it on the TV, but there's people in the gallery kind of hanging out. I mean, these guys are the ones that are kind of going to determine the outcome of this final day of the Texas Duel here at Bentwood Country Club.
And they played together yesterday, so I'm sure there was probably a little bit of talking maybe last night. We'll get you tomorrow, and what a great shot there.
Yeah, and you can see he high fives all around for that shot.
That will certainly put them in a great position for a birdie putt.
Extremely makeable putt. Probably one of the better spots to be on. Looks like we got Cody Cauley here. Angelo Pellet's man. Plays a little tennis and a little golf. Nice smooth golf swing. Just comes up a tidbit short, but right on line. Might want to use a little bit more club there, but quite frankly, the wind's kind of died down. So, I mean...
and sometimes I think people sometimes let the club do too much of the work. So then, I got to let the club do it, and you don't put enough strength behind it sometimes.
Well, practice. That's what they say. If you can... Got Stephen Brooks coming in. He looks like he's headed off to Margaritaville for a couple of shots of tequila, so I think they may be sticking with Cody's shot. These guys teed off at 11:08 today, so again, looking right at a 4.5 hour round, which I know organizers are extremely pleased with, because I think that was one of the things that the goals was not only to make it a fun environment, but also to make it to where you had a decent pace of play. I think pace of play in golf is one of the #1 things people look for in our day and age. Basically, millennials can't focus more than 7 to 8 minutes. So
well, and that's the reality is, playing golf is obviously fun, but nobody wants to be standing outside for 5, 6, 7 hours. You want to keep it moving, and
even if it takes a little bit longer, but the movement and the pace is good. I know that our golf staff, Brett Balin and all of his guys, Trevor and Garrett, they're out on the course helping these guys, making sure they keep things moving, because a well-oiled machine is a lot more fun than having it kind of juke and jive a little bit.
So they'll make their way around now and get things set up here to try and improve their scores. Jones and Shields having, a great day. They're shooting 12 under on the day for a score of 19 under total, and they have a chance to improve that even.
Yeah, I think when things are going well and you're rolling, I mean, you can score. And the way this course is set up, it does lend itself to that. I mean, when you've got a good feel, it's going to roll.
So we'll start over on the front side there with Holly and Brooks.
Now this putt is a little bit deceiving. It has a definite uphill action with a little elephant hump on it, but I will tell you, the one thing they don't want to do is to be a foot past this hole. If they're a foot past this hole, this ball is going to carry all the way down into the back fringe, and they don't want that, because realistically, if they get past the hump, they're going to have a straight putt for their par. So it's definitely a touch situation for these guys.
And this may be a situation, too, where one guy goes, all right, I'm going to just play it safe and put us a little bit closer, and then the other one can maybe take a swing at it. But
most definitely, especially, given the fact that, this is kind of a touch and feel kind of thing. Somebody might want to take a look at it. Well, that's not bad. That's not bad at all.
Really nice putt. Although, as you mentioned, just going a little bit there, and luckily stopped right at the
I mean,
edge there.
If he'd have gone another 4 or 5 inches, it would have been off the back of the green. But Stephen Brooks, great golfer, plays a lot of golf all over town, plays all our events. Probably went to school on that. Let's just see what we can do. Pushed it off a little bit and knew it when he hit it. I mean, once you get to the one side of that break or the other, you can kind of tell what's going to happen.
And there's exactly what you were talking about with his shot. It doesn't really matter because they'll play collies, but you could see it just continue to roll when it got on that backside.
It was all the way off the green, yeah.
So now Jones and Shields will take their swing for a birdie putt potential here. That would take their score to 20 under if they could sink this.
Well, and they put themselves in a perfect position. I mean, it's a straight putt. It doesn't need a rocket science. It's pretty much leave the ball in the hole, in my opinion. If you leave it in the hole, it'll go in.
And from the fairway, remember they just placed it perfectly right in the middle of the green there. No real roll to it or anything, just kind of stuck it. So Shields will take the first swing at things and just misses there, maybe an inch or so.
Again, I think, though the guys were kind of in the way, I tell you that ball was outside the hole from the very beginning. I think if he leaves it in the heart of the hole, the ball will fall. So we'll see. He left it right on the outside edge there.
See if Jones figured anything out there watching his partner play it. Take his chance now at the birdie putt.
Good traditional grip there, good balance. It's just straight back and straight through, my friend.
Oh, yeah, that's
that's one of those that just ain't meant to be, because that was inside the hole more than it was outside the hole for a long period of time, and unfortunately didn't quite fall. But a great round for those guys. I mean, they can't be anything but ecstatic for their play so far.
Yeah, par, and they'll finish their tournament with a score of 19 under for those guys, Jones and Shields.
Interesting thing there, watching Cody go ahead and fix his divot and stuff. I think that's one of the things that's great about these golfers is that, they're really good at taking care of the course. They know it takes a village to keep a course going, and, going in and repairing that divot and stuff before he putts just helps everybody out.
And he'll put that in for a par putt for those guys, so they'll finish their day 3 under, and that'll be good enough for a total score of 10 under. And Kevin, as you were mentioning, I think that it's really cool, and you get this anytime in these situations where these guys play out here quite often, obviously,
sure.
And they take a lot of pride in this course, and
Sure.
and it's like a second home to them, and they kind of treat it as their own, and that's really, really cool.
It's absolutely true, and I mean, especially in West Texas, when you've got the differences in weather conditions and drought and stuff. I mean, it takes everybody to keep the course in really good shape. Teeing off at 11:24, we've got Baggett and Briley, Wilcox and Sartain. These are definite Bentwood guys. some of the more fun guys out here, especially Lonnie Briley. What a great member he is. He is always extremely supportive, tries to, you know, get people involved, and obviously he's a great dresser, as we can see from this. It looks to me like we ought to be fishing with a lure in that color, but at least his shoes match.
And they're the first grouping here in the fourth flight, as Jones and Shields just won the third flight with their 19 under over 2 days. So congrats to those guys on taking home the prize money. I think you said just around $3,500 or something like that.
Yes, sir. Third flight prize money, $3,570 play.
So starting things off in the fourth flight, Baggett and Briley on the day. They're shooting even. That leaves their score at 2 over 2 days. And Wilcox and Sartain, they're shooting 1 under on the day. Yesterday they were 2 over, so that improves their score to 1 over 2 days.
So we got Kelly Baggett going to kind of try to improve upon Lonnie's second shot there. Looked like Lonnie kind of got his hands through that a little quicker than he'd like. He pushed it off to the right. Not a terrible position, but they're going to definitely have to pitch again. So obviously they'd like Baggett to try to give them something to putt at.
You can see that ball of Briley's right there just off of the bunker in that really thicker fringe.
Yeah, in the second cut, which, you know, once you go from the first cut to the second cut, it's just a completely different shot selection scenario.
And that's a hard spot to stand as well, with the way that kind of lip is there, and obviously the hill before the green and all of those things.
Looks like Baggett's got a decent lie, so that's a good thing, and he's able to smash smoothly through that. Not a bad follow-through, lost a little balance, but was a little strong. Looks like he's going to get to join the television crew here with us. He's right up against our booth here. Just a little more club than he probably needed, and of course once it hit the downslope, it's not going to stop.
Always makes me a little nervous when balls make it this far over.
Yeah.
Takes me back to that scene from Happy Gilmore when the whole podium falls over.
Yeah. I'm sure we've got an engineered seal of approval.
That's right, yes. I trust the guys who put this together.
Joyce Wilcox, just a little bit over the edge there, but not a terrible position to be. He actually probably hit a shot that he felt was pretty. It landed 3 or 4 feet past the hole, which of course means it's going to release off the back of the green. So Kerry Sartain is probably going to, you can see he's discussing with Troyes. He's like, did you hit more club than you need? Do you think we got the right club here? Because Troyes hit a really good shot, but unfortunately it just kind of carried over.
We've seen a lot of guys send it really way too far over on the backside, and I think part of that might be the fact of the pin placement being so far back this time around. You really think you got to go for it, and sometimes just get too far over.
Oh, Kerry Sartain,
nice
rock star status, jumping in the cart like he owns the joint. That's not a bad shot at all, especially these guys. These fourth flight guys, they got real jobs. I mean, they're not out here hitting 500 balls a day or anything. I mean, Kerry spends a lot of time playing golf out here, and we appreciate that. But I will tell you, I think he will be happy with that.
So they'll make their way up, really setting themselves up for a very nice birdie opportunity, and they've played well today, shooting 1 under on the day for those guys.
And we've seen this putt several times, and if we could get a little bug in their ear, I mean, just don't give the hole away. I think that it's a little deceptive, because all those guys got a lot of respect for that little elephant hump that sits on the green, but I mean, I'm telling you, it's out of play. By the time you're in that spot, it's not there. So hopefully they can focus in and just not give the hole away and get their birdie opportunity.
They'll certainly get a chance at that, as we are getting really down to the nitty-gritty final groups here of Texas Duel Championship round play at the Bentwood Country Club. I'm Cody Adams alongside Kevin Collins here on ConchoValleyHomepage.com, brought to you by AV Systems and Escapes, making this all possible. Have a wonderful day out here. It's really been nice. Our weather guys, they talk about it getting to like triple digits, and it hasn't all week, and I'm starting to wonder why they're getting paid.
Well, I mean, it's just a typical deal. I mean, these weather guys, they don't even have to be right.
No, they don't.
And they still get paid.
I know. I tell them all the time, I go, look, you can be wrong, and then just blame it on Mother Nature, and you're scot-free.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad they were wrong in the right way this time. Let's put it that way. All right, Lonnie's got to come off of the second cut here. Let's see if he can carry it. And I think that just that right there on our camera angle shows what I was talking about. When you're coming out of the second cut, it's completely different than the first cut. That second cut of grass is extremely thick. It will most definitely catch your club head. And what Lonnie did is he tried not to let it overproduce, and so therefore he's a little short.
And you got to find a comfortable spot to stand there with a little bit of a decline on you because of the bunker right behind you. It's certainly not an easy spot to hit from.
There's a little discussion going back there and forth about what club to use, I think.
So Baggett and Briley right now sitting at 2 over for their 2 rounds of golf, and certainly trying to improve on that. A nice shot out of the sand for him.
Get in there.
Oh,
Very nice putt. Nice chip, actually. Sorry.
Just misses. But
notice
really
how
spot.
Lonnie's grabbing his putter for him. There you go. Thank you very much. Thank you for saving us there.
So a good play by those guys to put themselves in position for a putt for. Wilcox and Sartain now looking at what they want to do.
Love that in the camera angle, seeing both guys on both sides of the hole. That's how you score out here. I'm just telling you. You will score here if you pay attention to both sides of the hole, because there is definitely something going on up there that maybe you don't see from below. And so they're taking the time to read it and make sure. But coming from the booth here, from you and I that shot 5 under ourselves today.
That's right, yeah.
It's pretty much just a straight putt. Hopefully it's a speed putt with a straight action. Troyce Wilcox, one of the supporters of this event, Chilton, Wilcox, and Fortenberry. Not a bad stroke there. You know, he pushed it out there the entire way, and I don't know exactly if there was, that was an impact of the putter situation or if he played it out there, but it never moved off of that spot. So hopefully Kerry can see that and just put that ball just a couple inches down into the hole, and we'll be in good shape.
Wilcox and Sartain right now, they are 1 over after 2 days of play, shooting 1 under today. So better than what they did yesterday. Teed off just a little before 11:30 today.
Just a nice, solid round. Kerry's got a nice traditional grip on his putter. Not true. Nice start for that putt. And the hole immediately. Well done. Went to school. And again, Cody, we've been sitting here all afternoon. I guess we could sell the information. But I'm telling you, that ball was straight in the hole the whole way. And it was easy peasy once you did that. Unfortunately, it's hard to do when you're actually having to execute.
And that birdie putt will take them to even after 2 days of championship round play here at the Texas Duel. So a good day for those guys. And I'm sure they're happy to finish up that way, and that's what keeps guys coming back again tomorrow.
For sure. Lonnie Briley's had this putt before, so I think he's all good. Yes, sir. Oh, nice and smooth. I think we do give Lonnie Briley the prize for best outfit. I mean, even his sunglasses match his outfit. So
the shoes, all the way down to the shoes, I mean, it's very good. And a good round of golf for those guys. They'll finish out with an even on the day. That's good enough to keep their score at 2 over after 2 days of play. So nice job by those guys, and you can see that putt one more time. That was the birdie putt.
Well done. Just right in the heart of the hole. No worries whatsoever.
So we pick things up now in the fairway with maybe.
We got ourselves Noble and Widener, Ward and Weber. Started off today at 1 over. Fourth flight division, 8:32 tee time. Looks like Noble and Widener are kind of over here in the, this is the tree areas. We've got Ward and Weber that we've got the camera on actually are in pretty good shape. So.
And they played a pretty good round, at least on the 8th yesterday, finishing fairly strong. Both these guys 1 over, as you mentioned, but really played it well yesterday.
Reagan Noble, local orthodontist. Not a bad golf swing there. Not sure where the ball's headed, but not a bad swing.
Just a little bit on that one. It's going to come up here on the backside, just off the fringe there, and not necessarily a hard spot to be in, but
No.
obviously you'd like to be on the green.
Sure, it's but you know, as chips goes, it's not awful. He's got pretty much a straight move right to the hole. Warden Weber. Ooh, lost some balance right there, and you can see when he finished the stroke, good camera shot there, he lost his footing. And I was about to say something. Isn't karma awful? But I mean, you know, that they weren't actually in the fairway. They were in that cut of the rough, and there's a actual ridge over there, which we really can't see from the TV angle. But you could see his right foot kind of slide out, and he probably just didn't have very good balance on that particular shot. And boy, he knew it the minute he hit it. It probably hurt a little bit for us older folks. That was a painful shot to watch.
Well, you know, we think so much about when it comes to golf, you know, hips and shoulders and things of that nature, but sometimes your feet, it has to start there because you got to be standing.
Balance is the key to anything in sport, and I mean, no more true than in golf. I mean, the balance of a player is ability to make the strokes. And you know, I think sometimes people in golf and tennis, quite frankly, spend too much time thinking about their hands. Well, your hands are reactors. They're not actors. Your feet are actors. I mean, you know, if I'm going to hit you in the face, you're going to try to reach up with your hand to react. You're not going to kick me, you know. And so, but we spend a lot of time trying to be skillful with our reactor, and unfortunately our feet are way more important. That was your tennis tip. That's $150.
Yeah, I'll put it on my David Wagner's
No, we'll
tab.
put it on Tom Stovall's account.
There you go.
All right, Kevin Widener coming up here. Sitting in the center of the fairway. Really no excuse not to be on the green after this nice drive. Actually, I think that's Reagan Noble. But nevertheless, not a bad shot. Hopefully it'll stop. Had a little spin on it, but definitely on the dance floor. They can hear the band. They're probably just not dancing yet.
They'll have a shot for a birdie putt, I believe. That would certainly help their score.
Changing clubs, you know. We've seen a lot of that today, Cody. I mean, you know, it's, again, they're kind of in that danger zone that I've been talking about. They're just in between clubs there. And, you know, you hit a great drive and you're like thinking, oh, my God, I'm a rock star. That's the best shot ever. But then you get up there and you're like, well, which club should I choose?
Yeah.
So he changed clubs. Let's see if he made the right choice. Oh, carried it over. You know, probably clubbed down a little bit and carried over more than he would have liked. Partner's on the green, though, so no worries there.
And sometimes, if you have a great drive like that, if that's inconsistent with the way you play, then you get to that portion and you never really play from there. You know, either a lot further back or whatever it may be, and you don't have the experience to know what to do from that spot.
And sometimes I think the technology kind of creates some problems for us in that respect, because I know when, you know, I used to play, I would drive up there and I go, oh, well, that's a 7-iron. I mean, you know, it's not so specific. Now you can kind of tell exactly how many feet it is, and so sometimes it makes you second guess yourself.
Yeah, I'm very much a driver 7 putter.
I'm pretty much just a Knob Creek guy, mostly. I mean, you know, as long as there's some adult beverages involved, I'm probably okay.
Well, that's what I was telling David Wagner yesterday. He was asking me about my golf game, and I was, you know, I said, if you drink enough adult beverages, I'm always playing well. So
yeah, absolutely.
These guys will make their way up to the green now and try and finish up 2 rounds of golf here at the Bentwood Country Club, playing in the Texas Duel. It's been a really fun tournament. 58 teams playing in this tournament over these last 2 days, and we've been out here for every one of them, finishing up on hole 18.
Great commitment from the your local television station, KLST, KSAN, your local, you know, television station that pays attention to us. So it's really good, and we appreciate you guys. I mean, it would be real easy to say, man, we got way more important things to do. But I'm not entirely sure this isn't the most important thing, to stay local and let people
Absolutely
enjoy themselves. So we really appreciate you guys.
You know, that's the thing. There are events happening here in the Concho Valley all day, every day, and we try and bring those to you. And this is a great opportunity to do it. And we certainly appreciate Dreamscapes Navy Systems helping us out and getting to do this and make this possible.
Looks like maybe about an 8-iron, just a pitch and run up the hill. Not a bad shot.
Very nice.
Hole, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh! Just about got that one to fall right in. What a beautiful pitch, though, from out here.
And, you know, again, just good camera action there, seeing that ball come off the club. You kind of almost felt it. You know? It's unfortunate that that hole is only 4 inches in diameter and needed to be a 1/2 inch more.
That's one of those, too, where it gets real slow motion. The closer it gets, you start to lean a little bit, but
no reason not to go ahead and be aggressive here. Probably the same club, same shot.
Another good shot.
Another one. Holy cow! They covered both sides of the hole there. But good job on that. Good finish. Nice par. Started out the day at +1.
And that's where they will finish, assuming they sink this putt for par. That would give them I believe, a +1 over 2 days in that fourth flight. And, you know, in the fourth flight, that's, at this point, good enough for second place at the very least to now. So
not bad.
Still
That's a good little $640 payoff for a weekend of leisure. Not bad.
Yeah, it's always easier to get away with playing a couple days of golf when you can go, hey, I brought home some money.
That's for sure. Definitely a makeable birdie putt here. Elephant hump to endure. Stobbed it a little bit. That's a golf term, stobbed it, which means you kind of dug it in a little bit and just didn't get the proper roll off of the putter there.
And so they will now, they'll take another swing at it and see if they can correct what went wrong there with the first attempt.
Yeah, that's a tough one to get a read off of because it didn't come off the putter very cleanly anyway. So if we can get that ball to roll a little better, that's a little better. It's going to fall a little touch short. Unfortunately, that elephant hump caught him just a touch. But still, in the leather for they're going to take their mulligan here.
We've talked about this exact spot in the green being really tough just simply because you've got so much to judge.
Yeah.
And figuring out where to put the strength on it and all of those things.
Well, interesting thing here is if he's going to use his mulligan, I mean, this could be a significant score change. So good luck to him on that. Nice putt, nice roll.
Oh,
hits the hole all day long. Unfortunately, not meant to be. But probably a good idea to try it there. It's the last hole, last chance. Might as well go for it. Made a good run at it.
Doesn't do any good to buy them and then not use them, so.
Finishing up par. Guys are done. Finishing off from the fourth flight. Teeing off at 11:32 today off number 1.
Noble and Widener, they'll finish up at, well, if they sink this putt, 1 over. And Ward and Weber, they'll finish up at 1 over after they just made their par putt. So a good day of golf for those guys. There it is.
Game over.
Nice job for them.
You know, these guys had a good time spending their afternoon at Bentwood Country Club. Thanks to the Texas Duel guys. I know they've put a lot of time and effort into this, and we are just proud to be a part of it. So. Got a few more teams coming up. Looks like not quite on the tee box at this point, but
we've got 12 teams of action still to come, and I just got a text message, quite frankly, a little bit ago that they're still finishing things up on the 16th. So we're going to take a quick break, get some guys some water, get a little bit of rest, and stay right here. Check out the news and sports and weather on ConchoValleyHomepage.com while you wait for us to come back. We'll be right back after these messages.
It's hard work and sacrifice, and never even thinking twice, and it's waving at people you don't know. Cause that's how we're born and how we're raised. The Concho Valley is our place. It's cheering for the blue and the gold. Local is your neighbors, local is your friends, local is a place you've always been. Then I love the way KSAN's local every day.
Welcome to Dreamscapes, the Concho Valley's premier outdoor living design center. Choose from a variety of custom outdoor fire pits, pergolas, and accessories to help complement your outdoor style. We sit down with you to help design your dream outdoor living space. We offer a wide variety of grills to choose from, including pellet grills, gas, charcoal, and ceramic, along with all the extra amenities to complement that new grill. Visit us today so we can get started on bringing your outdoor living space to reality. Right here at Dreamscapes, located at 3602 South Chad.
Remain informed on breaking news with the updated Concho Valley homepage app. Now containing severe weather alerts, push notifications, extended weather forecasts, and more. Download the Concho Valley Homepage mobile app today. Available on iPhone, iPad, and Android.
Football, a game not so easily tackled in 5 minutes. Join sports director Jason Brich and Rachel Turnock as they go inside.
A close-up look at your area local high school football games.
For 30 minutes every Friday.
That's a lot of football.
Yes, it is.
You can hear me?
The whole time.
Okay. Inside the Game. Fridays at 10:35 p.m. on KSAN, San Angelo's
football channel.
Sponsored by Mitchell Auto Group. It'd be cool if you guys could stop stepping on my lines.
You want some of this, man? Man, I knew I shouldn't have gotten the extra large.
The Locker Room is back on Concho Valley homepage. With high school football scores, highlights, and top stories available right from your computer. Right at your fingertips. The Locker Room. The Locker Room. Only on ConchoValleyHomepage.com. Check it out today.
And welcome back here to ConchoValleyHomepage.com. I'm Cody Adams alongside Kevin Collins as we continue our coverage here of the Texas Duel at the Bentwood Country Club, brought to you by Dreamscapes and AV Systems. We certainly appreciate you tuning in with us and hanging out with us here on this Saturday as we enjoy a beautiful day with some beautiful golf being played.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we just had our first kind of lull. We've had a pretty good steady stream of players coming through throughout the entire tournament, and we just had a little bit of a break, which actually was cool because the camera guys and everybody got a chance to take a small break before we get to this final finish. We've got 5 or 6 more teams coming in.
Right now we've got Estrada and Fitchett. They're shooting a 1 over on the day. That'll put them at 1 under for their 2-day score at this point. And Hill and Hufford having a very nice day. They're shooting 5 under on the day. That'll move their total score to 7 under for a 2-day total.
And Jesse Fitchett, longtime member here. Shane Hill, big member also, and also Jason Hufford, one of our tennis pros here, plays in all of our golf events, takes that opportunity to take the tennis scene and the golf scene on. So glad they're having a good day. 4th flight division. Looks like they're at -7 coming into number 18. That's a pretty good score for this flight.
A nice swing off the tee box there for Hufford. And that's going to be right, still in the fairway, kind of right in the middle.
Yeah, it's not full swing in 7 or 6 iron to get to the green, but not a bad spot to be in the short grass.
And Estrada and Fidget, they both played fairly well yesterday, shooting a 2 under. But, you know, sometimes you tee off a little bit later than you did the day before, or, you know, a few other variables and whatever it may be. And things can change a little bit quickly, although, you know, +1 isn't an awful day by any means. But
No. I mean, these are 4th flight guys. I mean, they were probably pretty happy. But still, you know, the course is set up to play where these guys can score. So hopefully, you know, obviously Jason and Shane are having a good day. And when they finish out pretty solid, we're in pretty good shape.
So
not sure. Yeah, it looks to me like that's Jesse Fitch. It looks to me like no. Estrada is about to hit there. It looks to me like.
Fitchett wasn't real happy with the way his went. He opened up pretty wide on his first swing off the tee box there and kind of sent things off to the right. See if his partner can put them in any better position. And he'll have a nice drive. That ball will keep rolling down the fairway right there along our right side. And we've seen a lot of guys play from that spot today. It's not necessarily a bad spot, but you do stare down the barrel of that sand bunker and our cameras.
Yeah. Still, you know, I mean, it's still a straight line to the pin. And, I mean, you know, as long as you can visualize the pin as opposed to the obstructions, we'll be in pretty good shape.
So they'll make their way on up to their spots here on the fairway and see if they can continue to improve their scores. We're in 4th flight division play at this point. This is the second to last group here in the 4th flight. These guys played together yesterday, I believe, so they've had 2 days of golf now with each other. And
yeah, and they know each other well. I mean, like I said, Jesse's he's kind of a fixture in the golf scene around San Angelo and at Bentwood. I mean, he's a really, really active member and a lot of different options in town, too. And so I'm sure they've had an enjoyable round. They all get along. They're friends. They have a cool beer, you know, quite often, I would say. So hopefully they're scoring what they were hoping to do.
There's always something really fun, too, when, especially a lot of these guys are members out here or play around San Angelo, and they get to know each other. And it's fun to see them be involved in these things because they could easily go, I don't have time to play golf, school's starting, whatever it may be. And
well, that's the thing. I mean, you know, that's the challenge in the golf industry in general is that people have less time than they had before.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, so filling that time with quality activity is what people are looking for. And obviously these guys can see the value of this event and are enjoying it, and we appreciate that. But, yeah, I mean, it's a struggle sometimes because of all the things.
58 teams playing in this 2-day tournament here at Bentwood Country Club. We're sitting up on the 18th green at the very back here, just bringing everybody in as they finish up, updating you on scores and giving you the opportunity to watch some of the people you know. play some golf for some money.
I think it was interesting because you were talking a second ago that you looked at the weather and it says it's 99 degrees,
Yeah.
but it does not feel like that here underneath this nice tree in the breeze and stuff. So talking about it being kind of pleasant out here today, but maybe it may be a little hotter for these guys. I don't know, but certainly do appreciate the engineering staff for setting us up in the shade, that's for sure.
They think about things that we probably wouldn't, like umbrellas and things of that nature that common sense would say, yeah, that makes sense, but we go, it's fine. Sit us out there.
Been an enjoyable afternoon for sure.
So Hufford and Hill will take their swing at things first, sitting back further on the fairway as they try and put themselves in the best position they can. A good shot here, maybe, if they get a good swing on it, could put them on the green and give them an opportunity for a birdie. Little soccer ball, golf ball there.
Yeah, Shane is actually a former soccer player, great kicker too, actually. Was a field goal kicker. So unfortunately, I think he got his shoulders and his hands through that a little quick and didn't quite use enough club. I mean, like I said earlier, they're a little bit further back in a good spot, but that's a good, 6-iron easy, especially with the wind the way it's going today. So hopefully Hufford, who, as you can see, hits the ball from the wrong side of the ball. Jason's a lefty, so hopefully he's clubbed down just a little bit to get himself an opportunity to get the ball to the green.
We were talking yesterday about the difficulty. Of course, these guys know each other and they play golf with each other quite often, but you can't necessarily learn from your teammate some of the stuff as the way the ball plays a little bit differently from that side of the ball. So you can see kind of where it plays, but it's just a little bit different.
Oh, absolutely. Let's see if Jason's been spending as much time on the practice tee as he has been on the lesson court. Might have to discuss that with him if he hits too good a shot here.
Gonna switch clubs here.
Yeah, we've seen that all day, and I think that's smart from the distance that they are. It's further than they think it is, and with the wind factored in and the ball, the tee, the flag on the back side of the green. I mean, that's that factors into a lot further shot than what they're maybe thinking.
As the wind picks up a little against him here.
Nice, looks smooth. Very, very good stroke fundamentally. Good shot. Again, excellent choice there. He clearly made the right choice on the club selection because he probably had the too little club, if I can say it that way, and picked up an extra club and put it right there in the heart of the green.
Well, he was certainly happy because he gave a big fist pump and a spin around to a high five to his teammate there. They're celebrating, and you can be in Kevin's office Monday to talk about why your shot was so good there.
Yeah, unfortunately, Jason's going to have to double his effort at the tennis courts if he's going to keep playing golf that well. There's Jesse Fitchett coming in. Again, that ball probably needed one more club, and again, it started out well, but the wind definitely caught it. He got it up there nice and high, probably somewhere around a 9 or an 8-iron, and needed probably just a little more club to get it all the way to the flag.
And a good thing at the very least, if there's a silver lining, that it landed over that way and not 15 yards the opposite direction into the sand.
Into the sand trap.
So his teammate Estrada will take a swing at things here.
That's a good stroke right there. Nice smooth backswing. Oh, carries it a little long. He's disappointed in that, I guarantee it, because that was perfectly struck, and unfortunately, he might have just hit it too good.
Yeah.
I mean, you could tell when he hit it, it was right in the sweet spot, and that made it carry just a little further probably than he was expecting, unfortunately. But that's one of those things about golf. Sometimes you can hit it perfect, and the next thing you know, it's not a good shot. So, unfortunately, over the green, but
they'll have a little bit to talk about, I think, because you've got one on the front side, just barely on the green, and then you've got one on the back side here a little bit closer to the pin. So we'll see what they decide to do, if they want to go for a long putt or maybe try and chip it back up toward the hole on the back side here.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good opportunity from back behind the hole here. They've got a lot of break and different elements coming from the front of the green. you know, I guess it's a choice. I mean, and in my experience, you know, make that choice and move on. I mean,
Yeah.
both of them have issues, but go ahead and make one and start trying to focus in on being successful at that.
And they're going to look at it here and discuss by the bunker. You can see them there in the side of your screen, just figuring out what they're gonna do. And it looks like they're going to really discuss it. Estrada's trying to convince Fitchett just to go ahead and play his ball.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of there's a lot of options here, you know. And like I said, Jesse plays this course quite often. I mean, this is a very, very makeable chip. I mean, you know, the chances of being close on this chip are every bit as much as being close from that long putt, in my opinion.
And we've seen that a couple of times today already, where some teams have decided to chip from back here and very close to sinking it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's still an opportunity to make that. And, I mean, you know, but that's coming from you and me, probably not the more, you know, thought process golfers, but it looks like Jesse's making the same choice. I mean, I would rather have a shorter distance because I just don't spend the time on the putting green like these guys do.
And they, you know, depending on how much they've played this hole and you know, playing yesterday, they know that front slope of that green isn't an easy travel by any means.
Well, and I mean, they're going to be able to follow through into the edge here, let it release up close to the hole. And let's face it, either one of these, a good scenario is a par.
Right.
I mean, that's a good scenario. So, I mean, to me, getting up and down from here really makes a lot of sense.
So Estrada will take the first crack at things for his team. Got a good look there at the hole from his point of view.
That's the dangerous part of that, is that not carrying it far enough, because once you get into the side of that hill, it's going to chew up the ball, that's for sure. So what Jesse needs to do is he needs this ball to carry a little further. He needs to get it up to the hole. It's not going to go past too much because the elephant hump is there. I mean, as long as he doesn't just muscle it way through, he should be able to get this ball to stay close. A lot better release that time. Stays below the hole. Probably not just super happy because, you know, line, but on the other hand, a very makeable par putt for these guys in a tough situation.
And so they'll begrudgingly be pleased with a chance for par, as Hill and Hufford have a much easier time for a shot at a birdie. Wonder if that's the same cigar he was puffing on yesterday on hole 18.
You know, in general, Jason has if he's not teaching on the tennis court, he has a cigar. And, you know, I'm not a cigar guy personally, but I do know that people that are cigar guys, they're kind of hooked on them. So
I love a good cigar.
And I guess this is part of his ritual, and if it works for him, that's fine. Unfortunately, I'm not into the cigar smoke, so we couldn't ride in the same cart personally.
It worked yesterday for him. He sank a very nice putt for a birdie yesterday.
It's good ritual right there. Got a reverse grip with his putter. Trying to give himself a little touch there. You know, and I think he'll look back on that. I mean, he hit that perfectly. He just didn't read it right.
Yeah.
I mean, it had about 2 more inches of fall than he was expecting. And, you know, let's hope Shane can see that, because that was a great putt. Good fundamentals, nice and smooth stroke back and forth. But, you know, I think he can tell Jason straight up, I mean, hey, I needed to be 2 inches out.
So he'll take his time to look at things here. And, you know, they want to finish out as well as they can. They're shooting a 7 under right now for 2 days of golf. And or preferably put at least maybe a stroke on here and get to 8 under on the day.
This is a total opportunity situation. You know they're in the hole with the par. I mean, and if they've got a mulligan left, even if they don't make this one, they need to. This is a big deal. If they can make this putt, I mean, I think they're kind of putting themselves in a real positive situation. Nice roll. Nice roll at that. And he makes
gets
the
it
putt.
in.
He makes the putt.
What a putt by Shane Hill.
As if what was interesting is that the first quarter of that putt, Shane didn't know.
Right.
Halfway through, he thought maybe, but by the last quarter, he was a rock star, and he was like, "I'm all it. I'm the man." Good job. Great putt.
What they may not know right now is that puts them into a tie for first place.
That's a huge turn of events there.
With Henshaw and Reyes, who are coming up right behind them, with an opportunity to either stay in a first-way tie or maybe take the lead if they can get a good shot here, as Estrada and Fidget try to finish up their round of golf.
It never moved. Yeah, that was interesting. I mean, I really felt like that was the kind of a putt that would, you'd want to have right in the heart of the hole, and then Jesse and Estrada both just put it on one side or the other. So tough day for those guys to finish up, but what a great finish for Shane Hill, knocking that putt in the bottom of the hole to get those guys into a chance for, some big bucks. I mean, this flight, $2,560 to win this flight, and that's a big putt for Mr. Shane Hill.
There's a replay of that putt, good enough to give them the birdie to move their score to 8 under. A great putt by Shane Hill, and that's going to put them in a first-place tie with Henshaw and Reyes to this point. Coming up now in this last group of the fourth flight.
Got Brown and Brown, Hale and Smith, both started off at 12:06 today. So looking right at 5 hours on their round, and both at 4 over and 5 over. Not sure where they're sitting at this point. Excuse me, that's wrong. We got Henshaw and Reyes, Helton and Sparks, -6 and -5 in the fourth flight. So those are two definite contenders. Where were they at, Cody?
Right now, Henshaw and Reyes, they're sitting at that 8 under for a total score right now. And that'll put Helton and Sparks, they're even on the day, so they'll be 5 under for a total score right now.
So Henshaw and Reyes have got a lot on the line here if they're wanting a playoff and or an outright victory. A birdie here gives them the win, if I do the math correctly. But I did go to Texas Tech on an athletic scholarship, not an academic one.
Well, you had to learn something at some point along the way.
Yeah. Well, hopefully these guys can capitalize. What a great round of golf. Fourth flighters in the under. Yeah, those guys have got to be super excited.
And that's a lot of the fun that we've had today. We've already had one playoff in the first flight. That ended up being won by Rogers and Rogers. Take home that prize of first place.
Off to the right just a little bit there with that second shot.
And so that is right there. I believe that's going to be Helton right there. So
obviously had a bad lie there or something. That was not his favorite shot right there, and I maybe caught a little of the canopy. No way to tell, but definitely not what he was hoping for. Took a little bit of divot. Love seeing him taking some sand there and helping to keep the course green and healthy. Appreciate that. Our golf course superintendent, Brad Fluid, appreciates that.
Yeah, so often, not here, and that's the great thing that keeps this course as good as it is. But sometimes guys will just go, "Up, not my problem," and they'll move on.
Oh yeah.
And that's really hard on something that a lot of people are using and really appreciating. So.
Well, the health of the course is, it's just, like I said, it takes everybody to keep it going in West Texas, and we appreciate it when people will take the time to take care of the course.
So Henshaw and Reyes will look to have a really tough shot here. If they can make this, that would win their flight. At the very least, they got to put themselves in a position for a makeable par putt.
I think, you know, when you're looking at like this is what you were talking about earlier about, you know, one player needs to play pretty safe here. You know, I mean, this is not the time for you to go out and try to go crazy. I think this is the time for you to make sure that you're in that playoff and that, you know, you have an opportunity. On the other hand, it isn't out of the realm of reason to make this shot. I mean, it's not a particularly huge break. It's just coming out of the first cut and doing some things like that. So we'll just have to see.
And because of where they're sitting, we've had that discussion. A lot of folks have decided to putt from that first spot of the fringe. So you would assume that they may do the same thing here.
Yeah, I would highly recommend putting from there. I mean, I don't think that the short grass is going to bother you nearly as much as you might think.
So Helton and Sparks trying to finish their day off strong as well.
It's a nice looking pitch. If it releases, he's going to like it. Well done. Decent touch right there. I mean, it's a straight putt coming up. He's got a smile on his face afterwards. I mean, no reason not to go for this. Oh, nice kip off of that. Just didn't take much of a break. That's the thing about where they were. It just depends on where the ball lands as to whether it's actually going to break or not.
Very good putts, or excuse me, chips by those guys, though, to put them in position for a putt for par. We now take a look at Henshaw and Reyes trying to hope that they can make this. That would win it for them if they could sink this.
This is a big putt, whether they know it or not. But this right here could be the $2,500 putt, or the difference of about $2,000. If they make it, it's a guaranteed $2,000.
Just
not a bad run at all. Looks like it does break a touch from left to right.
So now his teammate Reyes will take a look at things and see if he can play that any differently. It's on its way, and it just misses.
Well, and again, both made excellent runs at that, and then solid quality putts there. Definitely in the leather, as they would say. I guess they're going to go ahead and finish out just to make it honest, but at the same time, very solid there.
So I'm not going to use the word finish, but they finished that hole, let's say, with an 8 under after 18 holes. They're going to go play 19 against Hill and Hufford to see who's going to be winner of that fourth flight.
It is off solid. Good rounds of golf for those guys. Smiles on their faces as they finish up.
So we will wait and see how that first hole will finish up, as they'll head over that way here in just a few minutes and go play a tiebreaker for a little cash.
So we got Brown and Brown, Hale and Smith coming up. This is the fifth flight. Teed off at 12:06. Looks like we got about 4 more teams coming in.
Yeah, we're rolling now, and guys are wrapping up, moving their way into the bar after a good day of golf. That's Kerry Brown and Cody Brown. Cody is a coworker of ours out at KLST KSAN, the assistant news director out there. So we've been giving him a hard time for, well, as long as he's been playing golf in these qualifiers and in the duel here.
Yeah, I talked to them last night after the round, and they said they had 6 opportunities for birdie last round, and just didn't, just couldn't get it to fall. So hopefully today they've had a little better luck. Have we got an update on where they're at?
We have not yet. Last look, coming into today, they were 4 over total. So it'll be interesting to see. They teed off right after noon today.
12:06 off of number 1.
And they were one of those, we had talked a little bit earlier about qualifying and how that all was kind of really has worked out well for guys. They used it to their advantage, looking at where guys were qualifying, what teams were in what flights and things like that, and kind of waited till the last minute to join up into a flight and entered themselves a spot this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, they were able to go in that final kind of opportunity to qualify, and I think that they're did that. I would suggest that as this tournament evolves, that there will be less opportunity to wait to the last minute. But,
absolutely.
But on the other hand, it was a smart move on their part to go ahead and focus in and get in there at the last minute.
And that's the thing that I love. You brought up, and we've talked about this a little bit, is how Jay's really working to help this tournament grow into something that eventually is even more statewide than it already is. We get teams coming in from Dallas, Lubbock, Abilene to play in this thing, and you'd like for it to grow to maybe 100 teams or more if possible.
Absolutely, and I think this is a system that will grow and has applications all over the state, if not the country. I mean, quite honestly, he's got an idea that I think is very valid. So I do expect it to grow, and I'm just glad that Bentwood has been selected as one of the places he's going to be utilizing. So appreciate him.
You're watching the final round of the Texas Duel Championship here on the Concho Valley homepage, brought to you by Dreamscapes. Cody Adams alongside Kevin Collins. I was out here, I don't know, half hour or so by myself, and you could watch the numbers just fall on the website.
Well, unfortunately, I couldn't get here till 1, but I have had a great time, and it's always fun to see, all these guys that have come in and to talk about our course and to tell the little stories about the Bentwood people. And, I mean, because this is a family. It's a big community, and anytime that we can do something that showcases our community and our members and our people in town, I mean, we really have a good time doing it.
For you, I mean, you get to know all these guys that are members out here and playing, and they play in the partnership and all of those things as well. But how much do they talk about these events even after they're finished? Whether they run into you or they're at the bar or whatever it may be.
I think it's one of those things. I mean, golfers are like fishermen. I mean, the stories are always there, and they always get more embellished as they go. But I mean, when you have events that are so much fun and there's so many different avenues. I mean, yeah, you have some folks that are unhappy or whatever because they didn't have the experience they wanted. But in general, I mean, those are the things people look forward to. I mean, they set their vacations around it. We have families that play together in some of these events. So, it's a situation where, yeah, I think everybody looks forward to all of these type events. And I think Texas Duel is one of them that's going to become something that more and more people are getting involved in.
We're glad to be a part of it here at KLST, KSAN, and ConchoValleyHomepage.com. As Cody Brown just a second ago putting one on the green. That's one of those stories you were talking about, people embellishing. By Monday, he'll be talking about things sitting in the hole.
Yeah, that thing was in the leather when he hit it. But a fantastic shot. We've talked about that. Where they are, the trees don't play as much of a factor as you might see from the camera angle, but still takes a mentally tough shot to be able to make that happen.
So Brown and Hill and Smith here on hole 18 in the final round of the Texas Duel Championship here as they begin fifth flight play. Just got an update here on these scores. Brown, the team of Brown and Brown, they're sitting at 6 under on the day. That'll take them to 6 over on the day. That'll take them to 10 over overall. Then the team of Hale and Smith are 1 over on the day, so that'll improve their score to 6 over overall.
Tough day for Brown and Brown. Unfortunately, the course, and I think that they hadn't, one of the things I did with Cody is Cody wanted to come out and play a practice round before they did their qualifying. I mean, you know, he's one of those guys that hasn't played the course that much lately, and so I think that's a factor with the scoring and knowing how that ball is going to fall, especially on the greens. You know, so it just takes a little bit more time.
Yeah, there's something different when you're playing with a group or, you know, other guys around you, and you have to ask, hey, where's the green from here, or whatever it may be. And some of these guys just kind of know because they play it, you know, every day or 3 or 4 times a week or whatever it may be.
Well, and the course has nuances that you know, only the people that are experienced with it know.
So they'll make their way up. When Cody and Carey see their ball sitting on the green, they'll be pretty pleased about that. Hale and Smith will try and continue their pretty good play for the day and try and get to an even maybe, or excuse me, to add to another stroke to their score to maybe try and get to that 5 over point for an overall score.
Well, and you look at the overall fifth flight division, we do have a couple of teams, 3 teams that were under par after the first day, so we'll just kind of have to see as they finish up how it affected them. If they maintain their position, it looks like they're in pretty good shape for a fifth flight.
And in some of these, you know, some of these fifth flight guys, obviously you have some inconsistencies in the play. That's why they're in the fifth flight.
Absolutely, yeah.
And these scores that were really, really good yesterday, maybe, you know, you falter a little bit today, or vice versa even.
Yeah, just by nature, these fifth flight guys, I mean, obviously, like I said, they're not out here hitting 100 balls a day or anything like that, or practicing their game. They're playing the game for fun, and you know, quite frankly, a couple of days of just being a couple of shots over par, or even 10 over, 5 over for 2 days, you know, that's not a bad score for someone who doesn't play on a regular basis. The groovy thing is they still have an opportunity to make some money, even if they're not shooting, you know, professional level scores.
And that's what makes this tournament so great, and that's what's so great about the Texas Duel is it's guys like you and me and, you know, people you run into at the grocery store out here playing for a chance to win money and some bragging rights.
Absolutely. Didn't quite get that out of that. You know, there's a big difference between the first cut and the second cut, and Hale and Smith are stuck in that little second cut, which is definitely going to grab the golf club as it goes through.
So they'll try and put themselves in a better position now with this opportunity.
Ball came out nicely. That's going to release. That's not a bad shot at all. I mean, didn't quite get enough oomph on it, but quite frankly, from that second cut, if you push it too hard, you might just blade it out. So I think they'll be pleased with the situation. It's a makeable putt. It maybe would like to be a little closer, but definitely makeable.
So a fun day of golf as they wrap up. They tee off, as we said, just after about 12:06, so a little bit longer on this round of golf for these guys, but you would expect that to this point.
I think that, you know, the higher number of flights, they play a little slower. You know, we have a few more issues than you would with the low number flights, but at the same time, a good 5-hour round is kind of what these guys are expecting, so hopefully that's good for them.
Cody Brown on the putt there.
Oh, just left it. And he's looking back at his dad, and he's saying, hey, Dad, you know, I mean, that's about an inch out. I was very close.
One of the things I love about golf, and I think it's kind of an obvious statement, but it really is a game that people play until you die, just about.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's a family tradition. I mean, it is amazing how many father-son teams we have, even in the partnership, or guys that have played together for, you know, 25 or 30 years. Oh, what a nice roll.
Oh.
Just not meant to be. All around the hole for the Brown family. Unfortunately, going to end up with that. It's a bogey, I believe.
So they'll finish their 2 days of golf at plus 11 after 2 days.
Push that ball from the beginning. Hopefully they recognize that, because I don't think that that's the read on that. It's more that ball needs to be in the hole, and you just need to finish the stroke.
We've seen that happen in every flight today where guys think that it's going to break when it doesn't, and it's not going to.
That's the putt. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness.
And he stared it down.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised when I saw him hit it, and the camera angle was perfect. I thought, you know, that is exactly where you want to hit it. So I guess that's why we're up here and we're not down there.
Just scrapes by the hole there, but they'll go ahead and knock that one in.
Finish up hopefully a good, fun couple of days. There's shaking hands all around. Everybody had a good time, it looks like. Father-son duo finished it out without chewing each other up,
yeah.
So that was good.
Family reunion's not canceled. Good golfing all day for those guys, and we certainly appreciate them taking part in this. Those are two of the 58 teams, excuse me.
58 teams, yeah.
58 teams that were playing out here. That's 116 guys taking part in some golf at Bentwood Country Club today.
We got the team of Martin and Weeding with Hines and Moeller. They teed off about 12:14 today. You know, that may not be a totally accurate number. I know that that's the time that we're hoping for, but as you know, it kind of pushes out just a little bit, but still on time pretty well. Weeding and Martin at a +1, and Moeller and Hines at a +3. You know, Alan Hines, AV Systems guy, one of our big sponsors for this event. We do appreciate those guys being involved with the tournament, and actually Bentwood in general. Alan's a great member out here, spends a lot of time playing golf with his buddies out here.
And right now, as we look at their two-day scores, Martin and Weeding, they are sitting at +3 after 2 days of golf, and Moeller are sitting at +7 after 2 days of golf.
So it's looking like these last two groups that we have coming in that had a couple of teams under par are pretty safe, it looks like.
58 teams here, broken down into 29 groupings in 6 different divisions. We've already seen 5 of the 6 divisions crown a winner. And now we're in the 5th flight, waiting for that team. The 6th flight teed off early this morning. They were the first ones to hit the course and get going. And coming into the day, they were actually tied at 8 over. That was a winner-take-all deal. They decided to stay in the 6th flight by themselves rather than move up into the 5th flight. So that was a lot of fun to see that. And then we had a one-hole playoff in the 1st flight. Rogers and Rogers came away with a win there to take home some cash. And we just had, I believe, a playoff in the 4th flight as well. We're still waiting to hear how that has played out.
It's excellent to see that there's some drama, you know, some opportunity there. That's awesome.
And that keeps guys talking until next August when it happens again.
That's exactly right. Not a bad-looking shot from Allen. Looks like it's bending a little bit, yeah. Hopefully it'll hold up a little bit. Not happy with it, unfortunately, but I don't think it's as bad as he might think. I think he thinks he probably went into the trap. But not a terrible position to be in.
So Moeller now will look things down. He wants to play it. There's a lot of strategy in this one after you just watch your partner go, and he's going to try and go a little bit further over towards the hole, obviously. And
oh, man, that thing almost fell in the hole.
Put a nice little spot on it, just got a bounce and rolled back out of the green onto the fringe, but still not a bad spot to be playing from. We've seen a few guys play from that spot today, and it's worked out fairly well, actually.
Yeah, and unfortunately, you know, he did a really good thing going after the hole like he did, but, you know, if you get 3 feet past it, it's going to go off the back of the green.
So now we take a look at Weeding and Martin.
Boy, got that ball up. Unfortunately, it looks like it may have caught a touch of the tree coming out there. He's over off onto the left. I think at this point, as he's getting in the cart, he's hoping for his partner to have a better result.
All right, now sitting just on the outside of that golf path.
And you can see as they are trying, of course, we've got a tree kind of in our way, but they're trying to create this lie. That's part of the deal. When you're playing these scrambles, they have to try to create the same kind of lie that their partner was in because, you know, once you're in the rough, it's hard to do that sometimes. But, you know, they've got, looks like they've spent the time to get it set up properly. So Martin looking at, all he needs to do is make sure he gets past that second tree. If he can get it up and over that, then he should be okay.
We've seen a lot of guys playing from that spot today over in the fence row.
No, it doesn't look like it went well. Looks like he may have caught the tree. I don't know where he ended up.
Certainly not happy with it.
You know, that's the dangerous thing. We've talked about that all afternoon. I mean, there's so many guys that go off to the right, and quite frankly, that's the first team that we've really seen get bit by doing that. But, boy, when it bites pretty heavy, and I don't know where they ended up with that second shot. I know that Weeding's shot is just off to the edge over here, so not much opportunity to score when those type of things are happening.
So Martin and Weeding right now sitting at a +3 on the day. We do have 3 teams as of yesterday that were coming into the day under par, so it'll be interesting to see where they are when they get to the 18th hole here. We've already had a little bit of drama today as far as scores go and some teams being tied up at the end, having to play in an overtime playoff situation, so that's been a lot of fun. And
yeah, I think it's so great that they, you know, we do play it out to the end, you know, and it's not a scenario where, you know, there's some kind of a scorecard deal where, because let's face it, I mean, if you're playing 5 hours of golf and you just happen to score good on one hole, but, you know, that's not what it's all about. Yeah. You know, it's a cumulative score all the way across, and more importantly, it's, you know, what happens when you get up against each other at the end. So I'm so thankful that they were doing it. Yeah. It's like Jay Moeller's talking to me. We can't see it on the camera. He asked how close his ball hit, and I told him it landed about 3 feet from it. It was just a little bit past.
Nice shot there from
Clay Weeding, looks to me like.
As Weeding and Martin try and get back into position after a disappointing play from the fence row over there, and that'll put them back in at least a spot for a par putt, which
yeah, I mean,
isn't
you
bad.
know, I don't think they could ask for better given the situation they were in, because, I mean, that was you know, they just did not do a good job of getting out of that area over by the fence. Changing clubs here. Let's see if that's a smart move or not. Oh, chooses the pitch and run. Maybe, in my opinion, probably not the best choice there, and I'll tell you why, because the green is so undulated there. I mean, you know, there's just too many things that can occur. So when you're in that situation, you want to carry the ball up and have it land soft and just kind of deal with what you got, because it's too many different things to read. And Jay choosing the putter here from off the green. Firm coming out.
It's a hard spot to judge from, especially with the putt.
Absolutely. It's, you know, but at the same time, I think it's the right choice for these guys. If you get it going forward out of the fringe properly, it should run right up by the hole. Allen got a nice roll on that. That's a fantastically good putt right up to it. Maybe one more roll would have been perfect, but still got in there for their par situation. And let's see if Martin and Weeding can kind of make some lemonade out of this lemon of a hole they've had.
So that will be the day for Hines and Moeller. They'll finish up their 2 rounds of golf with a +7 as you get a shot there of some of the hardware that the guys get to take home after 2 long days and hard days of some golf here at Bentwood Country Club in the Texas Duel. Those are some mighty fine trophies.
Yeah, I mean, something you'd be proud to display on your desk.
So we'll take a look now and see if the team of Martin and Weeding can go ahead and get their par putt here. It's not an easy putt by any means, but
no, it's got a little bit of the elephant hump, but I think if you can putt through that and get it online, it's got a fairly chance. Unfortunately, Clay on that one, he didn't even give it a chance, and he knows it. He's shaking his head a little bit. He's like, what the heck? I didn't even get it there. But in the leather probably for his next. Oh, very close.
Just missed it by a hair. That'll be a bogey for them on hole 18 to push their final day score of +4.
On the tee box, starting out 12-22 or thereabouts, was Cook and Morris, Fortenberry, and Gaylor. Cook and Morris being one of our 3 teams that was under par in the fifth flight.
And today they have shot a 3 under to push their score to a 4 under. And Fortenberry and Gaylor, they shot a 3 over today. That'll push their score to 5 over.
Looks like it's going to come down to a tale of these last 2 groups of players.
And that's, again, that's kind of what we've talked about is even though, there are 6 flights and you expect some of these higher flights obviously to play differently from the first couple of flights, we've had really good scores all around for a lot of these guys. And for the winners potentially to all be under par in every flight, that's really good.
Yeah, no, that's great. And I mean, I guarantee you these guys in the 5th flight, if they played individually, being under par is probably not even an option. So, being able to score well like that, even if it isn't the best, I think is a positive for the growth of this event, because I think people are going to gravitate towards success and they're going to enjoy having decent scores and a little less pressure. I think that's the key. But at the same time, they're still playing for big dollars. This flight, 5th flight, the first place team wins $2,080, and second place $520. So cannot complain about that too much.
Definitely not. And I think it just helps push the legitimacy of this tournament even further as well. You want to sign up and you go, well, do I really? And then you start to see these scores and you go, yeah, I want to be a part of that. I think I
want
can.
Some cash. Yeah. Well, looks like these two tale of 2 teams. We've got looks like Fortenberry over on the east side, and then we've got Cook and Morris over on the west side. I do see one ball in the fairway back there, so it looks like they're probably just looking for a ball. But again, here we are with a team that's over on the right side by the fence looking for the Easter egg to see if there's a possibility they can make a play on that ball.
Again, they understand where their score is, and they understand that there's a little over $2,000 on the line here, so they want to make sure that they're playing the best shot that they can play. That's the whole point of playing a best ball scramble format, is you get 2 shots at it. So let's play the best one we can. And they're going to get to play from the fairway here, so that's a really good drive off the tee box for those guys.
Yeah, for Greg, and that's a good spot for them to be in. And again, it's past that kind of questionable zone. You're going to be looking at a full swinging iron for that, and it makes a big difference. The full swinging iron will let them go after it a little bit more, which I think is cool. Still looking for this ball over on the right-hand side, and at some point in time, there's probably a pretty good chance that they're either going to have to reload or go with something different. But it's cool to see everybody's over there trying to look for it and help them out.
We've talked about that. The pace of play today has been so good, and part of that just comes from the fact that guys have done exactly this. All right, we found our ball. Let's go help you guys out and get you in a position to play as well.
Oh, no question. And I think that, the more that we can create that kind of culture and environment with the players, the better it is for everybody, you know. Looks like there's actually some kids that in the backyard over there, like kind of helping them try to find it. I don't know, maybe that's them in the easement, but there's a whole lot of ants over there moving around looking for a golf ball.
And that's the team of Cook and Morris trying to find their ball, it looks like. They're sitting at 4 under, as is right now, as the current leaders in this division. So, you know, that plays into it as well. If they can find it and play it, that's obviously what they want to do.
Sure. I mean, I think there's probably a pretty good chance that the other ball's not in good shape either, or they wouldn't be looking that hard.
Right.
So.
We have 58 teams playing today here at Bentwood Country Club as part of the Texas Duel, and you're watching it here on ConchoValleyHomepage.com. We're bringing you live streaming of this event. We've been here for the qualifiers. We were here for day 1, and we're here for day 2, brought to you by AV Systems as well as Dreamscapes. I'm Cody Adams alongside Kevin Collins, the main man in charge out here at Bentwood.
Oh, yeah, don't say that. The phone will start ringing.
Yeah, if you have any issues.
It's David Wagner.
That's right, yeah.
I'll give you a cell phone number. No. You know, I do think there is an element of the rules that, you know, you can look for a while. I don't know. I do see that we do have Brett Balin in our golf course staff over here, and so there's a possibility that at some point in time these guys are going to have to decide, well, you know what, that ball was eaten by something, and we're going to find us another way to go. So hopefully they'll get it taken care of.
You know, the way I play it, certainly. And we just got word that Henshaw and Reyes beat out Hill and Hufford in that 4th division playoff. So they'll take home the cash prize in the 4th flight. A nice little $2,560 taken home by those guys.
No kidding. A great play all the way around, and finished it off. I guess they're buying drinks hopefully in the bar after this.
That's right. And a little fun conversation, I'm sure, for the next year or so, beating out Hill and Hufford in that playoff. Of course, they take home a little over $600 as well for second place.
Well, and if they have themselves in the players pool, Calcutta, I mean, it could be even more.
Right.
So, I mean, you know, it's a situation where, you know, there's all kinds of opportunities for these guys to win, and we're looking down here on our camera at the winners.
That's Henshaw and Reyes right there celebrating.
Shaking hands with Smiley McNabb and Jay West, our tournament director.
And they've done such a great job of getting this tournament going well and continuing to play well and stuff like that. You know, good trophies go a long way. They really do.
You know, it's a battle, and it looks to me like that you ought to be rewarded if you end up winning it all the way out. It's just something to gather some dust on you.
But as I was saying, when I play, it does feel like something eats your ball, whether a squirrel grabs it and takes it or something along those lines.
It's just like I've said from the beginning. In tennis player rules, we would just drop one and get started again. You know? And no, penalty strokes, what are those? I've never even heard of those
That's
things.
right.
What are they?
Didn't count. Just go again.
Looks to me like, though, there's a possibility there's a group of guys going back towards the tee box. And so I don't know this to be 100%, but if both of the players went out of bounds, they have to go back to and re-tee, and so and take the penalty strokes relative to that, and that looks like kind of what's happening right there.
So that certainly makes things a little bit more difficult on them if that is to be true, because that would take away a little bit of the work that they've done today and kind of, you know, push them back a little bit and certainly hurt things.
It really makes this final group of Davis, Galasso, Ledesma, and Rezel, depending on how they've done. I mean, our team, it looks to me like our team that it's at -4 is back on the tee box, re-teeing. So basically, it's a 2-stroke penalty. It's stroke and distance for being out of bounds. And so basically, they would, you know, easy way to explain it to people that are watching is they have to birdie to bogey right now.
Yeah.
That's the best way to think about it. I mean, if they start right here and they make a birdie, that means a bogey. If they make a par, it's a double bogey. And so that's going to greatly affect their overall score. Looks to me like they had a fairly good lead going in, at least against the rest of the field. We still haven't gotten an exact update from the final team coming through, but definitely going to make things interesting in the fifth flight here at the end of the Texas Duel here at Bentwood.
That was Cook there that took the first, or rather, I guess, second swing off the tee, and then Morris will hit his now.
Looks like they have gotten in the fairway. I can see that they're up in the fairway kind of close. Looks like it's a pretty good ball. It's still rolling. I don't have a camera angle on it, but, man, that thing's a rock star status shot.
And that's certainly going to help in that what you were just talking about.
Up and down for a bogey here could be, you know, the difference between winning and losing.
Going to be a lot of fun to see how this all finishes off. We've still got these two teams here in the fifth flight and two more teams, our last group, coming through after these guys, and it's pretty close, at least to this point. So.
I mean, this has been really cool here at the end, even though, you know, we've had to sit here and talk and stuff while they were doing it. People probably tired of you and I talking about stuff, but in reality, you know, when you see that sort of drama occur, I'm so glad we're here on number 18 to see how it kind of ends up.
So I just got word on updated scores for Davis, Galasso, and Ledesma and Rizal. Davis and Galasso are even on the day, so that takes their score to 2 under overall, which means, and Ledesma and Rizal would be at 1 under overall.
So this is a big deal for Cook and Morris. Just then we were watching Greg Gaylor take his second shot out of the fairway. It's down here in front of the green. You know, it's a good ways back there, and with the wind, you know, they probably need an extra 2 clubs, I would say, considering what their situation is. And then you can see how John Fortenberry is now going back to get another club. I'm hopeful that Greg is schooling him and saying, "Hey, man, let's go ahead and get this ball all the way to this flag. There's no reason not to." Like I said, we so appreciate John Fortenberry. He does so much for Bentwood. I mean, he's just a hugely active golf advisory committee member. He helps extensively with our partnership, and just loves the game, and just appreciate all the stuff that those guys do.
How big is that to have guys not that are only members in the country club, but also that put time and invest into it in that way?
I think it's everything. You know, I mean, you know, we can spend the money to build the facilities. We can put good staff members in place to make it fun, but it's all about, you know, getting people engaged. I mean, I do a whole thing with my staff about you engage people, because once they become engaged, it becomes their home, and that's the whole thought process behind a country club is make it, you know, a community, a place for them to feel comfortable and enjoy. So getting guys like John to help us out, I mean, it's the difference between success and failure a lot of times.
You can see out there right now, that's Morris with a great beard. Let's just get that out there right now.
Yeah, he definitely has got the Duck Dynasty thing going on.
But they've got a very serious, you know, I mean, they're playing golf, so it's not that serious, but they're trying to take home some money.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, given the fact that you and I know where the other two teams are standing at this point, makes it a little easier for us to kind of see where they're at. But I mean, they're in a situation right here where, you know, you've got a team that right behind you at -2. They really, really need to finish. Looks like that shot's over the green, not in dire straits, but not awful either.
So now Morris will take his swing at things, and you'd think he's going to try and play it a little bit safer and just give them something to play.
You would think so. I mean, because they need a bogey here to stay in the lead. Oh, safe.
That will give them at least the opportunity for a par for birdie, which would then give them that bogey score because they did have to take the penalties for being out of bounds.
So, again, if they make that putt, they make a bogey on this hole, which would take them to 3 under, which would leave them in the lead going in.
For now, that's right.
For now. If they, you know, for some reason miss this and 3-putt, they could literally go from first to second place
in one hole.
In one hole, which is again why golf is a 4-letter word. Yeah. Because, I mean, they literally have played lights out for, what, 35 holes. And now, you know, we're at the very end here, and it's time to see what happens.
Yeah, coming into this hole in the way that everybody's kind of played today, it looked like a fairly commanding lead. I mean, I know it's only 2 strokes, but now
there's no question about that. I mean, in my mind, that if you'd have asked me before they started the hole, I would have thought it was a guarantee.
So they'll try and make that birdie putt here in just a little bit. First, it's going to be Gaylor, and they're going to take their swing at things. They have a chance for a birdie putt, although a long one.
Yeah, I mean, it's a long ways up there, and if you can see it, John's asking them to hold the flag for him so they can see it. You can ask them to tend the pin, which basically means as long as you're on the green, they can tend it, and as long as the flag is out of the hole by the time the ball gets to the hole, it's legal. The only thing is if they tend it and do not get the flag out and it hits the flag, then that's a penalty. So, but it does help a great deal for them to be able to see the hole from as far off as they are.
And you can see from that camera angle kind of that difficulty of that slope on the front side of the green, where I mean, you can't see anything except the edge there, and so that's a long putt, and it's a difficult putt.
John's been here a few times before. Let's just see what he can pull out. It sure would be nice to finish off with a nice comeback tomorrow putt. It's kind of interesting. The wind kind of kicked up, and it almost looked like the wind slowed the ball down. I don't know if that's just karma or what, but I mean, when he hit it, that wind wasn't blowing, and by the time the ball got to the elephant hump, it looked like the wind had kind of slowed it all the way down.
It did look like he got a good release on it and just kind of slowed up on him, but things happen weird like that.
Absolutely. And, you know, coming up the hill, over the wind definitely affects the ball. There's no question. All right, Greg, let's see if you can learn some lessons here. Let's go ahead and get this ball all the way up the hill. That's a little firmer putt there. Gets a little bit over the hump, but not quite far enough.
So they'll be in a good position for a par putt here. I would keep their score at 5 over if they can make that. As we switch on over and take a look at Cook and Morris as they gear up to try and save their lead. And they're going to certainly take their time and look at it, because even though they don't know what the score is behind them, they know what their situation is.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this is, you know, you don't want to give up 2 or 3 strokes in a hole, not after you've spent 35 holes doing what you've been doing. So, yeah, they, regardless of whether they know what the scoring is, they are going to take this putt very seriously.
It'll be Cook who will take the first swing at things.
It's going to move about a ball from right to left. I mean, excuse me, from left to right, I think. Did not put much meat on that chicken right there. So there's 2 bad things about that. One, since he didn't get it there, the read, you can't get much of a read off of that for your partner. Of course, obviously, the second thing is he didn't get it there even close to the hole.
Right.
So they've still got some golf left, even to get their, you know, double bogey. So hopefully we can.
Just recap right now, they're sitting at 4 under, and at very best, if he could sink this, 3 under, which would be good enough for the lead still.
Smooth stroke there. That's a smooth stroke. Holy cow, that was close.
Just misses it.
Still a little bit of golf left here to finish up, but at the same time, very makeable putt to get to their double bogey, which would take them to 2 under and tie them with Davis and de Galasso, based on our information anyway. Looks like both those teams, we can't see, actually can see them in our camera angle, scooting around out there, but it looks like both those teams are in bounds and in position to at least go for something.
So now Fortenberry and Gaylor will try and finish out their 18th hole on day 2 in the final round of the Texas Duel here at the Bentwood Country Club.
John staying in his ritual, making sure that he's lined up. Nice smooth stroke there. Oh, there's just no reason for that.
Just cupped right around it.
I mean, you know, I don't even know. It started out perfectly.
It's like it hit a bug or something. Nonetheless, his teammate, we'll get a look at it here. Gaylor will take his chance now and try and...
I think that Gaylor, you know, knows this putt pretty well. He knows that John hit it well. He just needs to put it in the hole. He doesn't need to leave anything out. It'll go. That's a perfect putt, too.
Oh, my gosh.
Holy cow. Look at it. It's just sitting on the edge. So unfortunately, that might be kind of the way the day has gone for those guys, you know, but looks like they still had a good time. I love John Fortenberry. We call him I call him Jolly John. He's always having a great time. He probably didn't like being called that, but, I mean, he's always so positive. I mean, I've never seen the guy be anything but positive, so I really appreciate him.
They will finish with a 6-over as Cook and Morris try and maintain the tie here for first place, and they'll do just that.
Damage control there. That was a tidbit rough finishing up there, but it just remains to be seen. We've got one team, you know, heck, we've been out here qualifying for 4 rounds. We got the full main tournament. We've had a Players Pool Calcutta. We've had a heck of a party. We've had all kinds of people come in from outside of town, and here we are down to the last group hitting the last second shot, and both of them are in regulation. Couldn't ask for a better situation.
Just to recap, as we understand it to this point, Cook and Morris had to take a penalty because of being out of bounds. That forced them to end up losing a couple of strokes here on this 18th hole to take them to 2 under. Davis and Galasso in this final group, they are at 2 under in the 5th flight, so that's a tie. And Ledesma and Rizal are at 1 under, so they're still in this as well.
This is, you know, it's great to see these 5th flighters are making it into a party for us. That's awesome. You know, a lot of times you think, oh, it's championship flight guys and stuff like that. And that's just like what Jay's been talking about. This is playing golf for real. You know, these 5th flight guys are playing just like they're, you know, pros right now. It's for real, man. So that's pretty groovy.
Well, we're certainly excited to be here, and it's all going to play out as it comes down to a little bit of pressure for some folks and a little bit of drama for us here on ConchoValleyHomepage.com. Cody Adams alongside Kevin Collins bringing you all the action today.
A little bit of wind kicking up here. I hope these guys can kind of feel that down there, because I'm not entirely sure that they do, because everybody's been short the last 2 or 3 holes. I think the wind has kicked up just a little bit.
And we just saw Ledesma leave his short, so...
Nice stroke there, though. That looked like it was a good stroke. Yeah, it's on the dance floor, so we can hear the band. Hopefully it won't roll all the way off. Looky there. And that's that south wind and that little bit of slope there. Looks like it's going to settle on the green, but unfortunately you've got to carry it past the elephant's hump to keep it from coming back.
So they are on the green. That's Ledesma and Rizal. So they have a chance for a birdie putt, although a very, very long one. As we now look at Davis and Galasso tied for first here in this 5th flight at 2 under. That's going to be Davis taking the first crack at things for his team. And he just hit a tree limb right above him.
Oh. So...
makes things very difficult for his partner Galasso, because now you've really only got one way to play it, and that's further than your partner did.
Yeah, and I mean, this could be, you know, a situation where these guys at 2 under end up bogeying this hole. That double bogey by the Cook and Morris becomes a non-issue.
Well, Cook and Morris are sitting here at the scorer's table watching this one end, as they now understand the...
gravity.
That's right.
Oh, that one came out clean. It's just whether if it's carries enough. Nice safe play. Good partner golf right there. Good partner golf.
So
your partner gets hurt, it gets a little bit in trouble. Next thing you know, and he puts the ball on the green, gives them a nice opportunity for 2 putts to keep them in the game.
Great play there by Galasso. They'll be on the green now at 2 under with 2 opportunities to at least maintain that tie. Of course, we've seen some dramatic things happen today, so I'm not going to put anything out of question.
Hey, this is the funnest. I mean, and I've been doing this with you guys for years. I mean, but this is about as fun as it gets right here because, we don't know what's going to happen. A lot of times you get here, it's just kind of academic. But
we've already had 2 playoffs today.
Yeah.
In the 4th flight, in the 1st flight.
Well, I mean, I think the great thing about it is the drama is not in the championship flight.
Yeah.
The drama is in these guys, your everyday noon game players that are playing for real. So, I mean, it's kind of cool. I think that what Jay's vision is kind of really being played out right here for us on the last day at the Texas Duel.
And it makes you kind of wish that you got to ride along with them with a 6-pack for the other 17 holes to see how those played out as well.
Maybe a 12-pack.
Yeah, that's a good point. You just make it say, let's do it.
Never ask a sailor if he wants another drink.
That's right. It has been a fun day. 58 teams have been taking part today and yesterday in this final championship round of the Texas Duel here on ConchoValleyHomepage.com. Brought to you by Dreamscapes and AV Systems. We certainly appreciate their help in putting this on. And I'm Cody Adams alongside Kevin Collins. I appreciate his help today, making sure that this broadcast goes smoothly. And
it's been good. It's been fun.
It has been.
Appreciate all the camera guys and the engineers and the guys that have spent a lot of time. And most people don't realize everybody that puts this on from the KLST KSAN stage, I mean, those guys get here early.
They do, and they leave late.
They leave late. While everybody else is at the bar celebrating, these guys are breaking down and all that kind of stuff. Adding the instant replay opportunities and all that kind of stuff makes this legitimate and really kind of cool. And so we totally appreciate the commitment that you guys have had to improving, and making golf, viewing opportunities for people here in town.
And the fun part, I think, at least for me, is as we watch this tournament grow the way it has and the way they hope that it's going to, it's fun for us to envision the ways that we can help it grow as well and continue to cover it as it grows. And
it's absolutely true. I was sitting down there with your engineering staff guys, and they're all like, oh, man, we could try this or we could try that. So it's, I know it's long and hard and hot and everything, but it's great to see the guys enthusiastic and excited about it.
So Davis and Galasso at 2 under, they will take the first swing at things. If they were to sink this putt, that would be the win for them.
Fairly safe. Much a straight putt coming back. Would have liked it to be a little more to the left when it started, but if my partner hits that, I'm taking a deep breath and relaxing and saying, okay, now I can really make a run at this to see if something happens. That's
the first time I think today as well that from that point we've seen kind of the right speed and right strength behind it to get a push.
Absolutely. It's a great point. I mean, and again, it was a perfect putt and it's still 5 feet away.
Yeah.
So now we know why sometimes these guys chose to hit from back here behind the green because what the heck, man, it's the moon and the stars have to completely align for the ball to go in. And a lot of times you hit a great putt, and it's not even close.
Yep. So Galasso now will take the opportunity to maybe win this for his team if he can sink this putt. A birdie opportunity. They're sitting at 2 under.
Nice run, and it looks like it's on the right side of the hump, too. That's the right side of the hump. Now, here's the thing. Both of those putts are very makeable. One of them's a little straighter than the other. I think it's going to be interesting to see which one they choose. They're taking the one from above the hole, so that one must be a little straighter in their mind.
That was one of those spots where, it's kind of a rock and a hard place because they were really the same distance. It's just a matter of how you like to putt, whether you like to go up or down, kind of. So.
Well, it was interesting because Davis just walked up and took it. He's like, no, we're not going to talk about this. This is not an issue. We know where we are. Let's finish strong.
So now Ledesma and Rizal, if they could sink this putt, that would put them into a three-way tie.
It could be a three-way tie. I think goes to mud wrestling, I think, to determine the winner. Is that right? That's
you
that
call
would be
it.
So awesome. Let's see if we can get some drama here at the last day of the Texas Duel.
Had a good line on it, just didn't have quite enough behind it.
Well, you can see if you get on the proper side of the hump, and what I mean by that is it's on the, from their facing, the left side of the hole, then it will fall down to the hole. The problem is that once you get to that left side, you don't know how much it's going to fall. So it's a total, it's a guessing game no matter what.
So now Rizal will take his chance here and see if they can push their score to 2 under. That is a very difficult putt from that spot on the green and has been this whole tournament.
Again, that's the correct side. It's probably going to be a little firm, but the correct side. And notice how if you really get it there, it goes way by.
Yeah.
So a good run at it, though.
So they're in a good position to par this hole and keep their score at 1 under. And now,
so let me ask you this, and we don't know the answer to this, I guess, but okay. So we have 2 teams at 2 under, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So it goes to a playoff between those guys. So these putts right here are huge.
They are very huge, because if they make this putt, then that obviously would tie. Talking, of course, of Davis and Galasso, but I think that there's, we haven't had a team tie for second yet at this point
was
either.
What I was going to ask is does it go? I'm sure they have a scorecard playoff for that type of scenario. Now, here's what they're doing. I mean, this is important stuff. I mean, he was going to have to stand in their lie to hit his putt, and so he's chosen to allow them to putt first, which is extremely groovy golf etiquette to the nth, because they're like, you know what, we don't want to screw up y'all's opportunity here, even though they're in the hunt.
Yeah,
their
exactly.
dog is definitely in this hunt. So that just shows the how awesome golf is from that culture. Guys are, hey, I'm not going to mess up your line. This could be a $2,000 putt right here. Puts it in. So, deep breaths all around for the Davis and Galasso team. And now Ledesma and Rizal, if they can finish out, they get, I guess, third, which is an opportunity. Obviously, on the Calcutta side, there's money opportunities there for them. And probably a little disappointed.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
At the same time, I mean, being in the 5th flight and under par, cannot be too upset.
And had opportunities, honestly, here in the 18th just to even be in it still. So they'll finish their day at 1 under, and a good round of golf for those guys. But, hey, we've got another playoff still here in the 5th flight.
What a great job. I mean, congratulations to the Texas Duel guys for putting on a fantastic show. And hopefully it'll continue to grow, and people will get more and more involved with it, because that's been a fun afternoon.
Well, thank you for coming up and hanging out here and doing this broadcast with us. We're going to take a quick break and let everybody get a quick rest as this playoff hole finishes up. We will come back and update you on the final score and wrap things up here at Bentwood Country Club. Thank you for watching the Texas Duel here with us on ConchoValleyHomepage.com. We will be right back.
It's hard work and sacrifice, and never even thinking twice, and it's waving at people you don't know, cause that's how we're born and how we're raised. The Concho Valley is our place, it's cheering for the blue and the gold. Local is your neighbors, local is your friends, local is a place you've always been. Then I love the way KSAN's local every day.
Welcome to Dreamscapes, the Concho Valley's premier outdoor living design center. Choose from a variety of custom outdoor fire pits, pergolas, and other outdoor accessories to help complement your outdoor style. We sit down with you to help design your dream outdoor living space. We offer a wide variety of grills to choose from, gas, charcoal, and ceramic, along with all the extra amenities to complement that new grill. Visit us today so we can get started on bringing your outdoor living space to reality. Right here at Dreamscapes, located at 3602 South Chad.
Remain informed on breaking news with the updated Concho Valley homepage app. Now containing severe weather alerts, push notifications, extended weather forecasts, and more. Download the Concho Valley homepage mobile app today. Available on iPhone, iPad, and Android.
Football, a game not so easily tackled in 5 minutes. Join sports director Jason Brich and Rachel Turnock as they go inside the game.
A close-up look at your area local high school football games.
For 30 minutes every Friday.
That's a lot of football.
Yes, it is.
You can hear me?
The whole time.
Okay. Inside the game. Fridays at 10:35 p.m. on KSAN, San Angelo's
football channel.
Sponsored by Mitchell Auto Group. It'd be cool if you guys could stop stepping on my lines.
You want some of this, man? Man, I knew I shouldn't have gotten the extra large.
The Locker Room is back on Concho Valley homepage.
With high school football scores, highlights, and top stories available right from your computer.
Right at your fingertips.
The Locker Room.
The Locker Room.
Only on ConchoValleyHomepage.com.
Check it out today.
Welcome back out here to Bentwood Country Club on ConchoValleyHomepage.com. I'm Cody Adams. I want to thank Kevin Collins for being up here and hanging out with us today. He certainly is very knowledgeable of this course, obviously, and has helped us out tremendously. And it was a great day here at the Bentwood Country Club at the Texas Duel Championship as we wrapped up just the last fifth flight here, and they're getting ready to go to a playoff. We're not going to hang around for that. You can look up the score at TexasDuel.com, and it's been a fun day. We've seen, this is the third playoff of the day. Out of 6 flights, we had 3 playoffs. We had a winner-take-all situation with the first flight that came in today, and we certainly want to thank AV Systems as well as Dreamscapes for helping make this possible. We want to thank all the folks out here at Bentwood Country Club, and I personally want to thank our entire production staff and the hard work that they put in to make sure that we give you the best quality we can out here at Bentwood on the 18th hole and give you all of this coverage from the Texas Duel. And it's certainly been a lot of fun. We appreciate you joining us here on ConchoValleyHomepage.com. Be sure to stick around here on the homepage. We've got sports, we've got news, we've got weather. You can check it all out. And be sure to check in for that final score of the 5th flight here at the Texas Duel. For everybody here, have a good night.